Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Crash Out Kings, where kings come to crash out. This is a therapeutic podcast. Let's get into it, man.
Yeah, you know what it is. Hot as hell today, so we're bringing the heat. And today, the topic of discussion is, I don't know how we're going to phrase it, like clout in the underground scene, which is a weird thing to say in the first place because there is no clout in the underground scene. You know what I'm feeling?
None.
No.
None. There's no clout. There's no clout. No.
Yeah.
There's no clout. Of course, there's no clout.
Yeah. So to kind of lead into this one, it's kind of like a little bit about clout, a little bit about a couple different things. But basically, it's like you got your boy, because in the underground scene, there's levels of shit. You got somebody getting 10 views, and that's considered underground. And then you got people getting 20,000 views, and that's considered underground. So your boy starts getting 1,000 plays, and all of a sudden it's like, of course, that's awesome. So you want to give people their props, but then you got people getting 20K, and the general audience is like, that guy's a fucking flop. He's getting 20K. That's nothing. That's dog shit. But then you got people getting 4,000 who are like, oh man, like I'm clouded. Like you have a 50 for a feature to be around me with my 4,000 views. And it's like, it's weird, isn't it?
So it's disgusting, to be honest. You know what it is that I watched this Disney film, man. It was the one with the little robot. I forget what the fuck his name was.
Wally?
Or maybe it wasn't that one. I don't know which one it was, but it was a Disney film, man, because Disney is owned by the elites. And when I say elites, I mean the people who own the oil, who own the banks, who run America, right? And they all run these different corporations and different entertainment companies like Disney, Pixar, Cartoon Network, Hollywood, and they're all basically perpetuating propaganda, right? So, but they also throw their own truths into it, because I truly believe in the karmic link. I think that if I tell you I'm going to rob you tonight and climb in that window and rob that TV, but I come on a crunch and you don't think that I can do it, then you're in the wrong, because I told you. Hence why when you drink energy drinks, you see all of this bullshit, but guess what you do?
Still drink it, yeah.
So you're off the karmic link. So I think that my point being is this, bro. I watched this fucking this Disney film one time with my little brother, and these humans were sitting in these chairs, and they were like on their fucking phone. They're being like guided around this like utopia. And what I think it is that humans are basically like, I think the devil came in the form of technology, right? Because we're no longer looking up. We're looking down. And if you look into old witchcraft and the origins of like black magic, they would use what? A black mirror.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you look at every day? Black mirrors, right? Portals, right? So what I think it's absolutely disgusting. And like now, like I'm really understanding it after prison, because I took a break from all of the bullshit and coming back to it. It's all subjective. It's like, that's why, like, I truly, like, bro, you know me, bro. I'm always like, damn, should I charge old boy for a feature or not? And it's because, like, I truly, like, I see the matrix working, and I'm honestly disgusted by it. But I've learned to let it, like, work in my favor, But, like, to answer your question, bro, it's fucked up, bro. Because, like, what one person considers clout, another person will not. Well, one person considers viral, another person will not. So that's why I think, honestly, bro, on some G shit, it should be this, right? Because good artists are working with shitty artists because they have a backing, right? So I think that at the core of it, let's be fucking human beings. And if I fuck with your music, then I'm gonna work with you. That's what I did, right? That's how I found bitch ass Flacco, which is a hoe. That nigga's a hoe. Which I found Dirty Butt and him and his little pedophile ring, right? Even though Dirty, right, he won't admit this, but Dirty Butt was fucking underage girls too. And I can get the proof for it too. Dirty Butt was fucking underage girls too, right? Because the guy looks like a human stick. You know, he looks like a praying mantis, right? So the dude can obviously attract younger women, and that's why the SoundCloud wave has such a stigma with younger girls, because a lot of these dudes are dyeing their hair, they're doing all these antics. That's why I took my dreads out, bro. That's why I'm like, fuck this shit, bro. I'm gonna be me. But a lot of these dudes, they basically appeal to these younger females, just like Tokyo, right? And Dirty Butt did the same thing, bro. Like I grew up around these fools, but you know, to bring it back, bro, like, yeah, it's fucked up, bro. like I helped out all these little fucking these little leeches, especially Dirty Bud. I think Dirty Bud is the biggest leech in this genre. I watched Dirty Bud like grip two hands on Mozzie with a push start's dick and suck him dry, and then I watched him gobble the ball sack of fucking of NASCAR, right, and then swallow his cum to become his manager, right? Because that dude is just Dirty Bud's music is fucking irrelevant. It's talentless, bro.
That's a good place to start. So, like, I want to talk about. I'm talking to even a lesser degree, but I want to talk about NASCAR because this is a good example of shit, which I deal with a lot. Because, like, I have never, as a not being a rapper, I don't like running off the clout-based system. To me, what means a lot to me is work ethic, and 90% of the people I work with have no work ethic. So you can have millions of plays on a song, but if you won't get in the studio, then I don't care. I don't want to work with you whatsoever because work ethic should be what's actually. But if we're going off the clout-based system, somebody like NASCAR, people call me NASCAR. He's crazy. He's one of the kings. But it's like NASCAR had a huge moment in 2019. He blew right up on TikTok. Bam. And then he did that one album, and then he did that second album, that Wasteland or whatever, American Wasteland. It didn't do as well. And now it's like, to me, how much does that mean? Because I got artists all the time that hit me up like, yeah, I had a big buzz 4 years ago. I got a song with 100K plays, and I hadn't did shit for 4 years, but I'm still big in this shit. And it's like, you ain't anymore. It's about,
that's me.
But you're not like that. Like, you still do songs with people, but like, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it takes away from what you did for the genre in that way, but for you to walk out 4 years later, not dropping any music, and be like, I had 100K. I only do $100 features. People would laugh in your face because it would be like, you know what I mean? And that's what people do, though. And it's like, at least you got more of an excuse that you were actually in prison. Some of these guys, they just lost buzz because they got lazy and they won't work. They won't do, you know? Yeah. So, but, so you know what I mean? It comes down to that weird, like, clout-based system where it's like, oh, I put in work years ago, but then you got people who underrate that too, that are like, yeah, you did shit in 2017. Nobody gives a fuck about 2017. Where's your motion now? It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, especially in the underground, because it's like, I don't know, like, where do you fall on that? Because I feel like people should be getting paid for their work, but there's so many people who are asking for money who shouldn't be, and so many people who should be getting paid who are just getting taken for a ride. You feel me? Like,
I think that if your music is dope, then you have a value system there, right? I think that if someone's coming to you because they genuinely like your music, then that's one thing. But I also think that people, like, clout has become a currency, right? So, you know, at the peak of my career, I was selling my clout for currencies. I didn't pay for a single fucking thing that I did. Yeah. Now, I got arrested at the peak of my career, and then I went to prison, got out, and I did songs with, you know, various artists, you know, Rob Frost, like a bunch of people. V6, and that was the strength of being like, you know what, like, I was there at one point, so like, let's do it. But if I'm gonna stick to the original topic, and it's just like there's a mass, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, everyone's delusional when it comes to like the value of clout, because clout, it means different things for different people. So I think that that's partly why this genre, trap metal, is crashing and burning, is because everyone's like metric system is different.
Yeah.
So nothing's getting done.
Yeah. And that brings it back to, so there's online motion, and which, like you said, everybody's metrics different, so it's hard to quantify. So everybody always brings it back to, like, you got to get to the people who are really out there, really doing the shows. And it's like, I get that, because then real life is real life, you know? The internet's the internet. The internet's fake, and a lot of people don't realize that. But at the same time, to me, it's like, if these shows are the in real life thing, then they should be more frequent. You know what I mean? I'm going down once a month to these shows to really see the scene. If you're seeing the scene twice a year at a festival in summer, July, August, not the rest of the year, is that a scene? To me, that sounds like a family get together, honestly, over anything. That's not a scene. Like, a scene, you gotta, like, you know what I mean? Because back in the SoundCloud days, you would see Yachty performing with Skies. You would see Skies on a FaceTime call with this person. There was connected tissue in the real life and on the internet, but it's like, I feel like with trap metal, 90% of it lives online because the shows really aren't up to that standard at all. Like when it comes to underground shows.
And it's crazy, bro, because like, hey, trap metal is the biggest like bro, trap metal is being whored out, right? Like trap metal is being whored the fuck out because, like, for example, right? I remember when Lil Wayne, right, was first wearing the leather jacket. It was back in like 2000 and like, I don't know, maybe 13. And then Tiger came out, right? And he was wearing the like leather jackets and all the spikes and shit, right? But 6ix9ine, me, a bunch of different artists were making the music that they were dressing to. That's a weird kind of topic, right? But what I'm saying is this: is that like the mainstream, right? Like I think I sent you the other day a video of, was that Don where like he has this new videos coming out where he's like,
oh, Don Toliver, yeah.
He's riding a Harley and shit, and I think that a lot of influence has come from our genre via like X and Trippy. Like a lot of fucking shit is being pulled from our genre to the mainstream, but we're so fucking stupid that we don't know how to capitalize on the fact that they're sucking our juice and bleeding us dry.
Yeah. And it's like,
bro, hold up real quick. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but think about the Playboy Cardi's like his concerts. This dude's moshing. How are you moshing to Eminem and me? Nah, yeah, Eminem and me. Like, bro, that's our shit. We mosh. We fuck you up with elbows and uppercuts. Why the fuck are you crowd surfing to songs that sound like Eminem and me?
It's crazy, yeah, I know.
Bro, you're sucking the clout from our genre, but we don't know how to capitalize on it because why? 90% of people in our genre now, right? The new seeds are so fucking insecure and fragile and basic because they stick to this like image of what they think trap metal should be, and then they create, right? Like on a video game, they create their own character that is basically the same default.
Yeah. It's like let me tell you right now, like, well, people don't realize, this is going to sound a little fucked, but in the time we're living in right now, so many of these kids who had their high school experience in COVID, they have no lived experience whatsoever. So if you want to be able to influence and actually influence an entire scene, it's so easy because these are white slates. They have nothing. High school is where you become that. They never touched a drug. They never went outside. They've never fucked a girl. They've never. So that's why Cole Bennett, who they don't even know why Cole Bennett's important, but it's like, oh, Cole Bennett is like an important guy in rap. I don't know why. I don't learn about the history. Oh, he thinks Netspan's dope? Okay, well, is that what I'm supposed to think is dope? Okay, so I think that's dope. Now let's get back to X. 2014 in Florida, in a warehouse with 10 people, right? But the thing is, he made music to tour, and he knew how to control a crowd. Like, I keep hearing trap metal. I don't understand. I'm performing, and these kids aren't getting hyped up. Well, you're making music like this, where you're just going, bah! How are they supposed to dance to that? You need ups, downs. You need to get up and actually be like, I want everybody to listen to this. Wait for the beat drop. Wait for the beat drop. Can't get my dick in my pants. You know, going up, down, up, down. You know what I mean? If you're just coming and you're like, bah! People are just going to be like, what the fuck is this? Like, I can't. You're not making music that sounds good to an audience. This is a crazy thing. You know how everybody started going A in 2017? You know where that came? Yeah. You know where that came from?
X and fucking Ski.
Yeah, because back in the day, like nobody knew. Sorry, you're glitching a little bit, but back in the day, nobody knew the words because they were nobodies, right? So they knew the energy would be fucked up in the warehouse if they walked in and started singing Gnarly Bastard. Nobody knew it. But an audience can go, hey, feeding the energy back and forth. So even if you've never heard an X song in your life, you walk in the fucking warehouse and you can go, hey, and it makes you feel like you're part of it. You're part of the group. You know, these kids are like sitting here back, and it comes off as corny to them too, because instead of like being like, X was breaking down the wall where it's like all these kids are uncomfortable. They're on their phone. They don't want to, but he's like, hey, you know, you're not performing with me, but like feed off my energy. And then you, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what the fuck am I doing? I'm in this shit, you know?
Yeah. No, I think it's genius. And I think that that's what is lacking. Because I watch a lot of people, right? Like, so I have not done a lot of shows in my life. It's because like, I have a very interesting trajectory where it's like at the height of my career, I kind of got locked up and shit. And before that, the shows, like I'm personally, like I'm not knocking it, but I'm not going to sit up on a step up stage that's this high off the ground and perform for 30 people. Like, I'm sorry, like my time is worth more than that, right? Like I love those 30 people, but like let's think about gas, right? Traveling fees, right? Food, all that shit, right? Like, why would I waste my time, right? Why? Because a lot of these dudes, they waste their time and money for an Instagram post where they could appear to be bigger than they are. Because that's what Instagram is. Instagram is the human menu, right? So you want to make your fucking filet mignon look the best possible. I'm not with that shit. I'd rather let the taste speak for itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but yeah, bro, like I'm just not down for that. And I think that that's the difference when it comes to X, right? He pulled people in to basically like participate in this function, right? But I think a lot of people are just replicating, right, other artists like X, like Ghostman, like whoever else you want to name, and they're basically doing the same thing without adding their own original.
They don't understand
their own, like, original flavor to it.
Yeah. But even beyond that, it's not even that they're not adding their flavors, that they don't understand what made that cool in the first place. Because, like, I'm not saying you got to like study all the music, but like there was a reason that X was so prolific. But people forget because, as we talked about, actual X, 90% of X through 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017 is forgotten. And it's all the last 6 months of his life where he had blue hair and he was just like, you know what I mean? That's all people remember about him. So this is what I'm saying. Believe your own thing. Think about why you think about the way you think, because you're like, X is cool. I don't know why X is cool. Timmy told me X was cool. Now I'm going to copy X. But you don't know, you don't have the fundamental understanding of like what made X so popular. You're just like, oh, he had blue hair and he like talked like a prophet. Okay, I can do that. That's like the garnish on the full dish. You got to go deep down and look and be like, okay, so X really got lit because he was going nuts at these shows, building up energy with people. You know, he really came across, he was a short little fucker, so he wasn't intimidating to anybody, you know what I mean? But the energy that he was able to protrude as somebody who was like 5'8" or whatever the fuck he was, very short, you know?
Here's what it comes down to, right? And people are going to hate that I say this, right? But here's the fucking truth to the matter, right? X made phenomenal music, right? X was a phenomenal artist. He was very diverse, controversial. But you know what it is, bro, is that I went to Penn State University for psychology. Here's what it comes down to, right? Is that X was the complete package, right? People focus on his music, or they focus on his image. They focus on the wrong things without trying to make themselves whole, right? So X, right? You gotta realize this, right? And this is gonna sound like ridiculous, but like the camera, right? Catch it, you add 10 pounds and you add like 5 feet. Everyone thought DMX was like 6 foot.
Yeah.
DMX was 5'5". Everyone thought X was like tall as fuck. X was like, if I stood to X, he'd be this short. Like X was like 5'5", right? So everyone thought he was like bigger than life, right? With all these muscles, when like, hey, 6-packs and body, that shit sells. That excels. It sells and it excels. You got a 6-pack, your body's nice. He did, right? But people are missing the fact that this dude was 5'5". He probably weighed 160, 155 at his highest, right? Right? So then when you visually look at X, you're like, damn, this dude is sculpted, this dude is buff, this dude is this, he makes good music, this and that. Stop trying to be X, because X somehow fell into the perfect sleeve, the perfect avatar to be who XXXTENTACION was.
Yeah.
Don't try
There's not going to be
X.
another X.
Be who you are and work to your advantages.
And also look at it in this way, because X was who he was, but then there's like more performative artists. Like we're going to try not to bring up 6ix9ine every single time, but like this is the appeal of 6ix9ine, whether people realize it or not, is that so gang culture to white kids, because white kids is 90% of who listen to hip hop, whether people like it or not.
90%. That's facts.
It's super cool to them, but the reason they don't like the average fucking gang shit is because it's cool. You're out in the streets, you're killing, but there's a lot of rules to being in a gang too, which they don't like. That's why people like these drill artists don't translate as much because it's like, yeah, like, and it's not even that they want to be a gangster. I mean, some dumb fucks do, but it's more like they want to feel that life, that cool movie life. And 6ix9ine gave them it. Adam 22 said it. He gave them the comic book version of living in the streets. Like, doesn't give a fuck. None of the rules that you have to follow. None of that shit. Just all the insane shit. Him out in a fucking warehouse with 1 million fucking dudes. That would never happen. There's not 10 million people in a gang, but like that's what he was showing the world. And these white kids were like, damn, like this is they were able to feel themselves in that. Now, let's get back to trap metal. You got to think about what you're projecting. 90% of trap metal artists is like, and this is, I get it if that's what you're trying to be, but I'm in my bedroom. I got a choker on and I'm screaming. Okay, I'm in my bedroom right now. I know what it's like to be in a bedroom. You know what I mean? I don't know what it's like to be in fucking New York with 10 million people, Bloods and Crips. That's something that puts me in a mindset that I'm like, that's crazy. I want to live that. I can put a choker on and scream into a mic in my room. It doesn't elicit any emotion. It doesn't make me want to do that. You know, and that's 90%. Like the substance is gone from that. Like it's just the garnishes. It's all the garnishes. It's the look of but what are you actually selling? Nothing that I can tell.
And that, man, like, hey, listen, man, like, I'll say this over and over again. I think it's so dope that we've remained acquaintances and not friends, because being your friend would tarnish the way I view your opinions. Because honestly, in the past, I've disagreed with you a lot, you know, and that's why I reached out to you to be the voice for the other side, you know, and I think that has created such an unbiased view on your opinion, and I think that's totally true, man. What you said, it's like it's exactly that, man. You know, it's we have to continuously remove ourselves from the image, and we have to be more authentic, because, like you said, they're screaming on these songs, right? I heard this one dude literally repeat X's song, but like remix it, right? So you're screaming songs, but like, let's talk about something, right? Because as we see that the human mind is very intricate. The human mind is very sophisticated. We love melodic sounds, but we want what's the word I'm looking for? Like, we want substance. You know, that's not even what I'm looking for, but we want substance overall. So, like, for me, like, I try when I say things, I don't hate you niggas, I made you niggas, you're more like my son, little nigga, your father figure. Like, I try to project in these ways, but add something that people can grab onto and say, you know what? I know a motherfucker who I made too, and I feel like his father. And I ain't gonna whoop that nigga because I made him. You know, like, I try to add that, but now it's
yeah.
It's like,
because like, yeah, even look at people like, and I know you have mixed opinions, but like Josiah, or there's even a guy named like 870 Glizzy. He's not
Josiah
super popular.
garbage. That nigga is so fucking trash. Josiah is cancer to the trap metal scene.
I don't think so. Damn, bro.
I hate the way that you talk. I hate the way that you walk. I hate the way that you post pictures, nigga.
Damn. What is so? I don't get what's so aggressive about Josiah. Like, what's the?
I just don't like that nigga, bro, because I feel like he's just a fucking industry plant, bro. Like, he is so fucking whack. Like, everything he does is so industry plant like, bro. Like, there's no originality there. Like, the little nigga probably had some auntie or uncle who was associated with somebody else in the industry and got his little bum ass in there. Like, that's just that's good. I hate that nigga, bro.
We'll have a full like thing. We'll have like a full conversation to Josiah, but I don't want to get too off topic into that. But like, so anyways, what I'm trying to say is like with him, certain artists like that, trap metal song to me is like a roller coaster. Basically, you strap in. Okay, what are we gonna see? You start the song. You can go back to X. Anybody. They start off sometimes. Okay, we're getting you hyped up. Da 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 da. Okay, that's putting you in the right mood. Okay, to be ready to hear what you want to hear. Sometimes like, and it's like the ups and downs. The screaming only works so well because it's used in like sparingly. It's used to be because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, they're getting pissed. They're like, start off like, hey, let me tell you about this little motherfucker, da-da-da-da-da. And then they're whispering, they're like, I swear to God, if I see you, I'm a fucking... And then you're like, yo, wait, what? What do you say? I was like, I swear to God, if I see you, I'm a fuck... And then you're like, yo, what do you mean? Where if you start the song off instantly, I'm killing it. You're like, okay, that's like a crackhead on the side of the road, just like having a meltdown. You don't want to... You don't look at that for 2 seconds and be like, all right, and then you had enough, and you turn the song off because there's nothing more to be heard for the rest of the song. There needs to be ups, downs, stops, starts. If the third verse of your song sounds exactly like the first, make one verse, because I'm not sitting around to listen to, yeah, my name is Timothy, and I'm an about a and then on the third one, like, no, do something different or or make it shorter. Because if you have, you know what I mean? It's like a sushi platter with one type of sushi. Okay, I've tried it. What else you got? Here's more. Yeah. Okay, I'm good, bro.
Hey, and that's why, low key, like, I think Killswitch is a hoe and he's a bitch and he's a fucking lame. And I have my personal reasons for that because I helped that dude out when he was having like panic attacks. I hate to keep rehashing this, but he's just a hoe. But when it comes to his music, this is why I'm such a good podcaster, because I'm going to be real with you. Like, I'm not going to hate on somebody's craft because I think them in real life, like Killswitch in real life, he's a hoe. He's a little boy and he's a bitch. But when it comes to his music, I really like it because he gives you that like hardcore screaming that's not inaudible. And then he comes in with like, hey, my name is Killswitch. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, that's sick. I like that, dog. Like, that's sick. I fucks with that shit, for real.
Yeah. Because like the thing that's crazy about Killswitch, I got no problem with him. Like, I do think him like not mentioning you at all in the interview is kind of weird. But like musically, the thing that's crazy about Killswitch is like, I would even say Josiah a little bit, but like most of these artists, I seen them and then I start liking the music. Killswitch, I was like working out one day and I was listening to some sort of like Spotify radio, and that song Yasop came on. I'd never seen Killswitch's face, never heard about him, never heard the name. That shit came on like bouncing on my dick like a fucking pogo, da da da. And I'm like, shit. I listened to the whole album. That never happens to me. I never like hear one song and I'm like, I want to hear the whole thing.
It's great music.
That's exactly. But then when I seen him, I was kind of like, damn, this isn't really what I expected. I'm not gonna lie, because he had the album with like the mask with all the tape and shit, and I was like, and then I actually seen him, and I'm like, oh, he's just kind of like a little like a Mexican with long hair. You know what I mean? I still like him, but it's like, I don't know. I almost kind of liked before I seen him. I'm not gonna lie. Like it kind of, because then I was thinking like, what does this dude look like? You know? So the mask can work. Getting back to the mask, in that case, it did. But you have different opinions about that.
Horrible. I think like fucking Kill Dill, you look like a retard, right? I don't care how many muscle videos you post, right? You fucking weirdo. You look like a fucking weird bro. I wouldn't let you around my kids. I don't think anybody who's watching this, don't ever let that dude around your kids, because any nigga who shows up to my door who goes, knock, knock, who's there? Kill Dill. What do you want? Is Jeffrey there? No, man. Nigga, you're not coming in my house, bro. Get that weird ass shit out of here, bro. Like, make good music, stupid.
I never listened to him, so I can't say much, but I know
him like, and all these other fucking weirdos. That lame ass nigga AK3K, right? Who I named specifically. You a lame. Kill Dill. That shit is lame. And anybody who disagrees, you're mad that I have my own opinion. Have your own opinion. I'm not trying to sway your opinion. I'm having my own opinion. I think he's the founding father because Kill Dill was non-existent when I was out. So you're a fucking lame.
Okay, so like, and I actually kind of want to get into that too, because that was kind of the second topic that I wanted to discuss today. So we kind of got all over the place, which is fine. But like, so basically I'm talking about clout in the underground scene is like internet. We just found out that we can't gauge it because some people get 4,000 and think they're the king of all high. And some people get 20K and people are like, you fucking suck. You fell off. You know what I mean? So, and then we found out the shows are kind of like not frequent enough to actually pull anything. But yet we still have this weird voice clubbing trap metal. And I noticed it the other day. I was at the bar talking to my, like a couple of my roommates before they moved in. And I was like talking about certain artists from different genres. And they're like, this guy blew up this way, this guy. And then I was thinking about trap metal. I'm like, yeah, like Zarkon. Oh yeah, he got a Zilla feature. Okay, but Josiah, oh yeah, he got like a young bands feature. Oh, okay, but like Xanakin, oh yeah, Darky. And then I'm like, damn, everybody in trap metal really gets up on somebody else. It's like, is there any, like, I'm trying to think, any authentic people? Like Zilla was around 6ix9ine, you know? I'm like, shit, what the fuck? There's got to be somebody. And I keep thinking. So it makes this weird dichotomy where it's like, if I can get within, and I'm sorry to keep using you, Zarkon, but like, it's just an example that keeps popping in my head. Like, if I can just get within a couple feet of Zarkon, like maybe I can make my own career. And it makes this weird boys club.
Hey, maybe that's why I haven't blown up completely, because I haven't sucked off another artist to get on.
And that's what's crazy. This is what I felt, because you got posted on this rap page on Insta, and I think what happened, all these people jumped in and were like, "Fucking blah 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 blah." You weren't talking about them at all. I never heard you speak on them before. All of a sudden, I think it made them uncomfortable that there was another route, that it's like, oh shit, King was kicked out of our boys club. But why are people still talking about him? So then they go to me and like, why are you da-da-da-da-da? Why are you around King? You're not allowed. Like, we decide what's in this genre. What are you doing, Twisted? And then they hold me to that standard. They're like, Twisted, you don't understand. If you're going to be in trap metal, this is how it works. We dick suck until we get to the top. And you represent us now, so you can't say anything bad at all, because if you piss off somebody like Zilla, we all don't get to the top. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why? And so that makes me pose the question, why is it that people who have nothing to do with you, you see somebody who, you know, disappeared like you, and then you come back? It happened with Leprosy. It happened with so many people. Why are they all of a sudden like, this guy can't be back? He's not allowed to be back. When you're in a whole different lane. You're not anywhere near them.
And it's because, for one, right? So like I said, I went to Penn State for psychology. There's a lot of factors that play into it, right? So there's insecurity, right? There's the non-ability to associate with that person in a healthy way, right? So me personally, right? Let's take this into account. I've had 98% of the people who hit me up who've had problems with me reach out to me and spew hatred. And I've basically responded with logic. And they're like, yo, like, I can't even hate you. There was a guy in that same post, and I responded to him, and I was just like being mean. He was like, yo, you're kind of like sarcastic, but I can't even hate you, dog. I'm only here because my homeboy told me to come. And then another dude was like, yo, I'm only here because AK3K's bitch ass told me to like comment on your post because like you dropped a diss song on him. And it's like, once they talk to me, 98% of them all become like, I don't know, king believers to some degree, right? I had one kid who literally made this whole post, a few of them, and they're like, "Yo, man, don't judge people before you get to talk to them." I was in prison for a period of time, and I didn't get to speak my behalf on a lot of things. So a lot of people insinuated a lot of shit, and that was the narrative, right? But like I said, to bring it back, it's like a lot of these people are so insecure, and they want to shelter and contain these relationships and hold these bridges, right, with other artists that have never been built, right? They won't talk shit about Zero Trash's 4-foot little ass who looks like a dyke. They won't talk about his little stupid bitch ass, right? Because they're like, I'm gonna ruin the key. Who is he? They won't talk about certain artists because they don't want to burn the bridge that's never been built.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, this is what, like, and it's not even like, I'm not saying they have to like us, but what I don't like is that people come over and they're like, Twisted, like, you gotta understand, like, we like you in this genre. And I'm like, I'm glad you like me. But since we like you, you gotta understand that we gotta hold you to certain standards. And I'm like, great, like, I don't want a bunch of yes men. Hold me to that. So
unless they pay your bills, fuck that.
Yeah, so within this genre, we don't want you to work with certain, and I'm like, and I even said that to Boundary. And I even said it at one point, because he was saying there was some guy he had been friends with for a long time that was getting mad at me. And I said to him, I said straight up, I'm like, don't take his side. Don't take my side. Take the side of whoever's paying you. And right now, like, I'm not. So if it comes down to it and you're making money with somebody else and that person hates my fucking guts, keep making your money, because that's what, like, I'm not saying it's these friendships, but they're one-sided friendships. It's like, but bro, I've been friends with you for years. And then you're thinking like, okay, so we've been friends for 4 years. I've given you features. I've like promoted your music. I share your songs every time on Instagram. I've talked to you when you've been down, and you've never paid me a buck. You hold features away from me. You treat me like dirt. what type of connection is that? That's not a friendship. That's, hey, when I need something from you, I want to come immediately to you and get that from you. And it's like, okay, dude, but like, you got to start thinking about how, and I'm not saying you got to be like, you haven't paid me for whatever I did. It's more of the energy. If like that person's like, thank you so much for that, or like, you know what I mean? You see them sharing your shit at the same time. But if it's a one-sided thing where they come to you and it's like, hey, I have 2 songs with 20K. I'm a big CLOUT artist. I'm gonna shit in your fucking mouth and give me a fucking feature right now. Fuck you. And you're like, yes, sir. Thank you, sir. What time do you want? Think about it. If you ever make it, do you want to be around people like that when you're rich? Do you want people around you in general? What's the reason you don't want to work a 9 to 5? You don't want your boss to shit on you, but you'll take it on the internet because they got clout that they don't have? It's crazy. Anyways.
No. And I experienced the same thing with a bunch of rappers. And nigga, you know, there's only so many times that they can come incorrect. Where I've had situations where I've reached out to people and they've prolonged things. They've given me excuses that are just like not realistic. But when I need them, nothing. But when they need me, same thing. They're spamming me. They're like, yo, bro, what the fuck? They're trying to guilt trip me. And it's super fucked up, man. Listen, man, like I think we should wrap this up like this, man. Hey, worry about yourself, right? Create an island that is you, so you don't have to worry about other artists or other podcasters or who the fuck ever else. Create an island so people can never persuade you, manipulate you, or control you. Create an island and create a source of income that only comes from you. And if you have to cut everyone else off, you'll still make money. That's how I'm ending.
And I want to end it off by saying, because I know last podcast I shit talked a couple people, so I want to be able to give it back in another way because I want the positive interactions I've had with people to shine through. So this is what I'm going to say right now. Shout out to Gizmo. He's super humble to me when I talk to him, and that energy was not forgotten. I now respect you more than people who have 90, because you were actually a decent fucking human being when I talked to you. Cold-blooded, shout out to him. Another fucking good guy. Sinister's another good guy. Might not be the most clouded people ever, but they talk to me like a human being when I got in. And I remember that. I remember that just as much. I actually remember, because 90% of artists shit on me when I talk to them. Like, so, you know what I mean? Like people like Lil Lotus, like I remember that because that was just disrespectful. But the good, I remember that too. So I just want to shout out, those are 3 real fucking guys. I don't care if you come to me and say, they scammed 100 years ago. Just saying, giving that energy back. Genuine guys. So thanks.